Hi guys, so this is part 2 on our first impressions on my caine survival knife. Please see part 1 if you don't know if you just clicked on this and you don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just going to test that edge I put on it, well, tinkered with, shall I say. It's not as sharp as I would like, so use this portion of the blade here, same as you would on a kukri. It certainly suggests it's that kind of shape. You'll see how delicate it does. So removing bark is really satisfying with this, and he does it quite well. Not bad at all. Too shabby. So I'm going to go around the stick just to flatten it out a little bit, just to try and do a little bit of see what curls we can get. The wind's just got up. Alright, so try and bring my stool a bit closer. Maybe not that close. Move it out a bit. Okay, hope you can see me. So strip the bark off this. Let's see what curls she can do. It's not 100% straight, but it's just a demonstration really of things you can do with it. So first time using this kind of shaped blade today, so for this kind of work, so until I get used to it, it's probably not going to do any decent feather sticks at all. So we'll see. She certainly can do some really fine curls. You can do this however which way you want. You can move the knife along the wood if your knife is sharp enough, or you can move the wood to the knife by going backwards and keep your knife stationary. Whatever way you prefer, doesn't really matter, it's whatever you're comfortable with. Oops, skipped one there. And like I say, I mean, as far as slicing, you can start from this portion of the blade, and then with the longer strokes you can really get some decent curls by moving in slicing motion across the blade length, by keeping your knife stationary, and it does that pretty well. Yeah, it's not as sharp as I would like, so I need to do some modifications. Like I said in the first video, it's got that micro bevel on it, and I don't like micro bevels. Like I say, it interferes with everything that you do, especially carving. But we are getting some fine curls. And again, for people that know me, I don't usually do feather sticks or curls like this. I like to do mine on the ground, vertical rather than in the air, but this is the best way to do it so you can see it on camera. So a bit more practice is needed doing it floating in midair. It's really difficult, but we're just testing the first impressions out on this knife grind, and it's not doing a bad job. As you get used to your new knife grind, it will get easier the more you use it. Yeah, so knife curl, some curls, decent curls on there, not too shabby at all. I'll definitely start a fire, or aid in starting a fire. But yeah, it gets really thin curls from there. Okay, it's not as sharp as I'd like it to be, but I've not really sharpened it properly since when the previous owner traded it with me, so it does need some work on that edge, but it's all right. It's not bad at all. Yeah, not bad at all. Certainly do some decent curls once I've sorted that edge out. Yeah, won't be disappointed if I had this as my only bushcraft knife in a woodland location. So first impressions is not bad at all. It's definitely heavy duty. It can definitely take a beating, but it can do delicate work as well. But I need to take it home and address that edge, because I'm not liking that micro bevel along the edge at all. So that's probably one thing I'm going to be changing. And unfortunately, when you take a micro bevel off, it also slightly changes the geometry of the blade as well. So it could work both ways. I might turn it into a saber grind, I'm not too sure. It just depends on how we get on with it. Not doing any chopping, but I've got this massive stick here. Yeah, not really doing any chopping as such, but with a knife this size, alright for delimbing, but for a knife this size, I wouldn't really recommend chopping with a knife this size at all. It's not going to be the best chopper in the world, although the profile, the shape, it would definitely be do some light chopping with it, because like I say, it's kind of a mini kukri. So we'll see how it performs from this. Probably going to put a lanyard on it because this is a small blade. So I'm going to stick a lanyard on it, I think. And either wrap it around your thumb or around your wrist, as a lot of people do, just to stop it from slipping out of your hand. I'll do the wrist one today, sometimes I do the thumb one, but wrap it around my wrist several times and then we'll see what it does. Right, so to see how deep it's going to go in, I'm not expecting miracles with this because just of the size of it, talking 5 inches or less. It might be less actually, could be 4.5 of blade. Now when I'm chopping, obviously I've got the danger triangle right in front of me, so if I slip it's going to go straight into my thigh. So what I'm going to do is, when I'm chopping, which is more difficult because I'm just doing this pure for the camera, I'm going to be chopping away from me. So if you look at the camera, my leg position, so I'm going to be chopping like this. So if the knife does slip, because it is a small blade, it's going to pass straight down. to the right hand side of me. I'm not going to be chopping here, I'm rather chopping here. Okay, so we'll have a look. Put it down so you can see. Now this is hard wood, but it's doing it. It's only a small knife. Sorry if it's off the camera. Put it all over here. See how there's a slip there? And this is also dangling in mid-air, which is, again, not ideal for chopping. But she did it. She chopped with a small blade like this. It's quite hefty actually. So yeah, obviously it's not going to be the best chopper because of the size of the blade, but the edge shape of it, so it's like a mini kukri. That belly, that big belly there, really aids in chopping, just like a kukri would. So yeah, and if this was green wood, I think it would probably blitz for it for something. So with a knife this size, you don't want to be splitting down or chopping anything thicker than this. You know, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the energy expenditure of doing that. This is a small knife, treat it as a small knife. So if you do need to do any chopping, make sure it's no bigger than your wrist. It's about the same size as my wrist, probably a bit smaller, but it did it. It's not too bad at all. Again, we'll get the bark off here. You can see how dry this wood is. Just a wood that's I just picked up some dead wood lying around underneath my tarp. And it really could do with being a bit sharper for this task. But yeah, first impressions, it's much to be improved, I think. Yeah. So first impressions, yeah. The wonky view then. So yeah, first impressions, it's not bad at all. It's definitely a substantial blade. It's not a shy blade, it's not a work shy blade at all. Thick enough to do heavy tasks, but obviously not long enough to chop down a tree or anything. Edge geometry not too keen on because of that secondary bevel, micro bevel. So I'm going to be, before I give this a proper review after a few weeks or a month or so, I'm going to dress that micro bevel, take it off, and then I'll take it out with me for a few weeks and use it on and off, and then give you my overall review of the knife after a few weeks or so. But yeah, it's not bad. It's very tough, very strong, good construction. Feels great in the hand. Feels, you know, really thick stock to it. So yeah, all in all, first impressions, not too bad. It's just that edge that needs to be addressed, I think, to make it more effective in slicing and notching. So thanks for watching both videos. I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to get some dinner. Oh, before I forget, I can't believe I forgot this bit. This knife does come with the original sheath, which is actually on the belt. Right, so this comes with like an army or Canadian style army sheath, real leather, heavy duty stitching all the way around, lovely welt there, and like I say, it's like a Canadian army style full closure like that. It's just a belt loop. You get no dangler with this, although you can put one on if need be. Knife just goes straight in there like that, so it sits in there, and the flap just closes down there like that. So lovely sheath, heavy duty, real leather. Yeah, does its job. So we'll take it home, modify the edge, and then we'll give a longer review and let you guys know how it performed. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully you enjoyed looking at this, a bit of a rare survival knife now. They don't come up very often. I was lucky to get that one in a trade. So yeah, thanks for watching and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye for now.